That's not real news.
No, I mean, he came down really bad on his left ankle. Like, according to Shams, it's a sprain. You know what we got to talk about, JD? Are we live?
We just started, but yeah, go on.
Dwayne Haskins.
Oh
my God.
That's a hot topic of the day right there.
As a man that has been to strip clubs in my life, I'm not going to lie. Do I enjoy them? Not particularly. Have I been? You been to a strip club, JD?
One time.
I've been twice, actually.
I never need to return.
Yeah, same. But hear me out. Say you have a shitty day at work.
One time.
I've been twice, actually.
Yep.
So say you have just the worst day at work, similar to Dwayne Haskins' performance a couple weeks ago. And then after work, is your first idea, after a really bad day at work, like your boss is chewing you out, your first idea is to go to the strip club and get 4 strippers, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 strippers, and then post it? Dude, after a bad day of work, I'm sitting on my couch drinking bourbon trying not to cry. And this man-child, is going to the strip club with 4 strippers? He loses his captaincy. If he hadn't done that, he's still on the team. They give him another shot next year. But he does that. All of a sudden, he loses his captaincy to none other than Chase Young. Good friend of mine. I talked to him once at his freshman year. Anyways, it cost him his job going to the strip club. All he has to do is put it away. As Stephen A. Smith says, JD, you know this. Stephen A. Smith always says, stay off the weed. To Dwayne Haskins, I say, stay off the pole.
Oh, man. And on that note, folks, welcome back, shooters. Max said we needed to step away from the vocal exercises, so I let Max go on a rant there about Dwayne Haskins' current life situation, and he gave a fantastic piece of advice to all our listeners out there, and that is, can you repeat it once again, Max, for all our people out there?
This is to Dwayne Haskins, but also all of you. Stay off the pole.
You heard it here first. So we'll see if we get that trending, since we have so much social media
Unless you're single and unemployed.
Now, my before we get into too much today, continuing on that real quick, the brief article I read, again, I didn't look much into this because I was like, I never liked Dwayne at Ohio State. I was never on his, bandwagon, but it said he was going to his girlfriend's birthday party.
Yeah, he got 4 strippers for his girlfriend's birthday party. He can go to his girlfriend's birthday party. That wouldn't be an issue. The issue is the NFL has pretty strict COVID policies. He's the starting quarterback for his football team. You can't get risk getting COVID. Like, I don't care if you think it's fake or not, right? Similar to Justin Fields. I don't want Justin Fields leaving his bedroom because I don't want him sitting out the playoffs. You are the starter for a National Football League team. You do not fuck around with COVID protocols. You just sit there, fuck your girlfriend for her birthday.
Children, Max.
I'm sorry. Have sex with your girlfriend for her birthday. Give her a little sugar. You do not need to get 4 strippers. What? On what earth would a woman, your girlfriend, for her birthday, want you to have 4 strippers? What woman is just like, wow, Dwayne, it's my birthday, and I would love for you to get 4 strippers here immediately?
I'm not really sure. I've only met one woman who's a fan of strip clubs.
And she dated a member of the Ohio State handball team. Let's tie this back here.
She did. It's
Anton Gorbachev.
Full circle here, folks. Funny video surfaced recently. Not sure if all of our listeners got a chance to see it on Twitter. I put it out there. Very funny. If you know Anton whatsoever, great little film. Definitely worth a view. But yeah, she was in fact herself a stripper. Anton also frequented strip clubs, and they would go to the strip clubs together. I'm not really
and that's
sure
totally fine, JD. I have no issue with that. The issue is if Anton was the starting quarterback for a National Football League team during a pandemic, then he can't do that. If you're a regular loser from Russia, do it. I don't care. If you're the starting quarterback for a National Football League team, you sit home.
Plain and simple. So, folks, as we got past that rant, we'd just like to say that we're waiting for our guest to jump on, hoping that he can make it. Didn't hear anything from him as to why he would not be able to make it. So, yeah, it's supposed to be Jake Withers, member of the Halifax Thunderbirds.
Great team name.
Go Birds. It's one of those things that I think, I'm not sure if we talked about on a previous episode or not, but Just the obscurity of teams' names right now. I started looking into some minor league baseball team in Michigan. It was like Norwich was the name of the town, and I was like, and their logo was a narwhal, and I was like, oh, Norwich Narwhals. And then I looked at the team name, and it's like Norwich Sea Unicorns, and I was like, on one hand, I feel like you missed an easy layup, but on the other hand, I feel like you purposefully dunked that because Norwich Sea Unicorns way more memorable than the Norwich Narwhals. But
you want a funny story about that, JD?
Go on.
Related. So my last job that I quit because I didn't like it. First week of work, all week orientation. It's miserable, right? On the last day, 140 people in this room getting oriented. At that point, I don't know what I need to be oriented to. It's ridiculous. But anyways, they're trying to do icebreakers for us so we can make friends. I didn't make friends because I was focused on winning and making money. And some other people that were focused on friendship or relationship. I don't do that. I don't do that stuff, okay? At the end of the day, everything's a competition for me. Because it's serious. It's real life. Anyways, for an icebreaker, they say, what's your favorite minor league baseball team name? And like 4 or 5 people raise their hands and say mildly funny ones, like the
Rubber
Portland
Ducks.
Sea Dogs. Yeah, the Akron Rubber Ducks, Portland Sea Dogs. I raise my hand and I say my favorite one, the Montgomery Biscuits, because it's hilarious. The first 4 or 5, good laughs, great laughter. Mine, no laughs, nothing, silence. And they were just like moving on. I was like, it's a real fucking team. I'm sorry, it's a real team name. Like, the Montgomery Biscuits is a real team name. No one laughed. They thought it was too absurd, I think, or they just didn't find me funny. I think they thought it was too absurd. It wasn't real, but it's true.
This is Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Biscuits is a fitting name.
They're no Columbus Clippers, though.
Yeah, but Clippers is old school like that. I mean, that team name hasn't changed in freaking what, like 50
I wish they would go back to since the 70s.
Jets.
I wish they would go back to the Seal. I love the Columbus Seals.
Oh yeah, well we got Lou Seal, the mascot, out there.
Well, you know the best Columbus team name of all time. JD, what was the name of Columbus's NFL team? Let's see if you know this.
Oh jeez, the NFL team.
Columbus's NFL team, yes.
The Panhandles.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Columbus Panhandles. Columbus is not a panhandle. I don't know if it's referring to the Panhandlers. We do have a lot downtown.
Yeah, I think so. My grandpa, he played semi-pro football back in like the dawn of football time.
Okay, well, meanwhile, my grandpa was fighting for the United States in World War II and killing Nazis, but we each have our struggles.
You know, choices.
That was a lie. My grandfather
choices.
did not. My grandfather did not fight.
Okay. Anyways, so he played D tackle for. I forget. There's a book about like Columbus early on football, and he's in the book, and I can't remember the name of the team, but my uncle has the book, and it talks about the Panhandlers. It might be the Panhandlers. I don't remember.
You know, it's just the Panhandles. It's not the Panhandlers, just the Panhandles. They also played the first NFL game against another NFL team.
I do not know the answer to that one.
No, I'm saying that that's the correct. That's accurate. Then we also had the Columbus Tigers, who played in the NFL as well.
That's not as cool a name.
Not nearly as cool. But the Panhandles, in their only NFL season, they were 18th. They went 0-8. I'm looking it up right now. The Columbus Tigers did a little better. They finished 8th, 10th, 20th, and 19th. And then after 1926, they decided we never deserved a team again. Which is coincidentally around when we built the Horseshoe, which doesn't make a lot of sense because like they could have had the games in the Horseshoe, 60,000 seats, brand new stadium. But no, they have to take them away from us, which was very upsetting to me at the time.
Another fun fact, Columbus football tie is the NFL headquarters was in Columbus for a long time.
It was at, where it was at downtown?
Isn't it where the prison was or something? Or
so it's actually at Broad and High. There's a plaque commemorating the building at Broad and High next to the with the Tim Hortons,
NBC
right next to it.
And
it's currently right next to the Rhodes building.
Learn something new every day, folks. So
let's make this a history podcast.
Yeah, we can keep rolling with this. I honestly haven't heard anything from Jake, so we might have to make this a short one, and hope he can make it next time. But yeah, as far as folks coming up on the schedule, we had to do some shifting around because our guests are unable to accommodate everybody's schedule, but we got Sebastian Wheeler lined up for Wednesday.
That's going to be a fun one, my man.
Yeah, he wants to do before you're off work, so that might be.
I mean, I could be convinced to come on. Oh wait, the thing is, I have a 3 to 4 meeting every day this week, except Thursday and Friday.
All right. Well, anyways, Sebastian staged for Wednesday, and Sydney Worthy from the University of Akron women's soccer team is staged for Friday at 3. So before
Is she interested in women's handball? What's our connection to her?
She is my wife's boss's daughter, and
Okay.
I've been selling her on Handball. She actually, fun fact, I can say this because Brendan's never listening. Brendan Herbert, member of the Ohio State Team Handball Club.
Oh, I know. I'm my good guy, Brendan. Left-handed.
Brendan and Sydney were chatting for a little bit. So,
They were just chatting, nothing more.
yeah, just chatting. It's a Twitch filter. It's just chatting, right?
Were they doing slightly more than just chatting? Were they just hanging?
Max, I'm not at liberty to discuss. I do not know. You can ask Brendan.
Is this like an FWB scenario?
I don't know. I don't know more. I do not know any more details beyond that. She's also close with, or at least she knows of a lot of other Akron athletes. So that's my pool.
LeBron James.
Akron, University of Akron. Not.
I'm gonna be honest, JD. There is one Akron athlete I care about, and that man is King James. He's currently living in LA. He plays for the Lakers, little known NBA team.
Current Akron athletes.
I really don't care.
Anyways, you can say that to her face on Friday. So we'll do the show at 3 before the Alabama Notre Dame game, and then
I can do that. I can do that Friday as long as it's before the game.
You want to do it live in the studio here? Because we're probably gonna have people over for the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing anything. I can come to the studio, but
whatever you want to do. So
yeah, I mean, I could stay for the game. I might have to be back at my place for the OSU game, but I could stay for the first game.
We'll discuss later. So
yeah.
For everybody that's listening and enjoying, Max and I just plan out our Friday as we just shoot straight here.
It's a handball podcast, JD. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about some shots fired from earlier today. Did you watch any of the EHF Final Four, the Champions League?
So I'm not going to try to sound rude, JD. This will sound rude. I have a job. So a job is when you sit and you work. And I know it's a little foreign concept to you, but I participated in my job, so I was not able to watch.
I'm a big. I got multiple monitors, so do one.
Oh, I do too. Honestly, instead of the Final Four, I watched Crystal Palace play today. We tied Leicester 1-1.
So you're telling me you missed a an overtime thriller with €1 million at stake for a regular season Leicester City.
I'm a Crystal Palace super fan. I'm one of the 40 people in the American Crystal Palace Supporters Club. I gotta support my team, buddy. Up the Palace.
Okay. You got a Palace jersey?
I don't. Yeah, that's work in progress. I was gonna be in London this winter, and I was gonna cop one.
Big Palace fan. Doesn't even have a jersey. Rohan.
But have I been? Ask if I've been to a game. Ask if I've been to a game.
I'm not gonna ask that question because I know you're gonna say you have.
Yes, sir. They didn't ID me for beer there.
Was this in England?
Yeah. It was at Selhurst Park.
All right.
Some footy.
Rohan's not in the chat. Otherwise, we'd have some nice, little discussion. I don't know who the jaunty one is, but they got the crown. So represent whoever the jaunty one is. Yeah. So for those that did not watch the game, like myself, because Max, I also have a job and I did not watch the game, but I was getting updates from everybody and their brother because holy cow. The first game, I think everybody had written off PSG because nobody can shut down the Barca machine, which ended up being the case. It sounded like PSG just going to have to slow start and Barca's playing really well, at least goaltending-wise, and just kind of kept it in control. But game number 2, we got Kiel, Vestrum. I should go get my Kiel jersey, but it sounded like it's the most back and forth game I think I've seen in a long time. They went from, I explained this on Twitter, but basically Kiel was up 17-10 at one point, like a couple minutes before the half. So the halftime was 18-13. So they were up.
I'm a big Keel fan.
They were up 7, all right? With 10 minutes left to go, Vestrum ends their, I think, 8-0 run to take a 28-24 lead with like less than 10 minutes left. I think that math adds up, right? So Keel climbs back and is able to tie it, I think 29-29. I think where they tied up at the end of stoppage time. But as I was getting updates from people, they did a stupid 7v6 with like a minute left. And
well, why does anyone do that?
And you know what happens is, like, they were in the lead when they were at a 1-goal lead, did 7v6, got an easy turnover, Vestrum scores, game's now tied. And it's like,
I don't understand any coach who puts his team in that position. That's on your coaching. That's not on your players.
And especially at that stage of the game. Like, if seriously, if anyone out there can explain to me, like, high-level coaching, why you think that at any point in time the risk of a turnover and an automatic goal is more valuable than scoring one more goal, I don't understand.
It's like a hockey team pulling their goalie if they're up one.
Yeah.
You never ever you should know.
Like, oh my gosh!
But the Columbus Blue Jackets have gone to empty net, 4-3 on the Maple Leafs here in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't quite know why.
Yeah, literally, we're playing the Penguins. Second round of the playoffs. We're up 1-0 in game 7, and there's 5 minutes left, and we're just like, you know what? Let's just put an extra guy on offense out there. Screw it. It's like,
hey, we got to make the scoreboard look pretty, JD.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if Vegas, and the thing is, like, Vegas doesn't have as much to do with handball yet. So I'm not sure that they can dictate. There's not any of that insider gambling. But I know the Karabatic brothers, they got hit pretty hard with some gambling situation.
Wait, Nikola Karabatic? I like that guy.
Anyway, so
who won, JD?
They go to overtime, and it's the same thing. Like, Vestrum takes like a early 3-goal lead. They're up 2 goals at the first break of the overtime. And then it's back and forth, and Keel's in the lead, then Vestrum's right back in it, and then Keel scores with like 45 seconds left, I want to say, and Vestrum just couldn't. So
Keel got the dub.
Keel got the dub, 36-35.
Fire the cannons, JD. That's our favorite team.
Go Zebras, go. So anyways, so they play Barca. I think tomorrow. I don't remember if it's tomorrow or Wednesday.
I could be inclined to watch just because that's my favorite team right there.
Well, I had a lot of issues with the VPN at work trying to figure out how to get it to work, so I just didn't watch it. But enough highlights throughout Twitter and Instagram that you can pretty much watch the whole game via highlights. So no issues there. So that was that. And then John Ryan had a funny comment about us posting about today's episode. He said that we're actually changing the name of the show to the PLL Super Fanboy Show.
Because we're just fanboys of the lacrosse guys?
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Hey, if any other pro athletes want to come on the show, tickets there, but you know what? None of them respond. But now we look like a bunch of idiots because we said we were going to have Jake here on, and he is MIA, folks. A lot of unread messages that I sent to him.
You want to hear an actual idea I've had lately, JD?
Go on.
I love John Ryan. This is not a knock on John Ryan. Hear me out. You know the platform Substack?
No.
Substacks, it's like a microblogging service. It's like you create a newsletter, right? And then you send it out to people's inboxes. Super easy. We could make Shootin' Straight a handball newsletter. And I think it could do pretty well. Put in some funny stuff, write some words, do a little promotion, sell some advertisements, talk handball in America, talk shop, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right into your inbox.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Like, I don't sign up for stupid stuff like that. So if somebody
It's not stupid, JD. There's 110 people that are signed up for mine.
Wow.
110 people read what I have to say whenever I send it out, JD. That's pretty remarkable. Actually, more than that. Let's check out my dashboard.
Good.
You can also charge for it too.
I mean, I think we got a good thing going with Twitch right now. You know, we got steady income flow from our top shooters out there. Shout out Mishi, Martin, Thomas, CJ.
I don't know if I'd call Thomas a top shooter for us.
Thomas, while he doesn't tune in, he paid for, well, I guess he didn't pay because he gets his one free Twitch subscription.
Yeah, he subscribed.
He subscribed, so.
Okay, JD, my last blog post, right? 123 views. The one before, 321.
What was this blog about?
It's just about politics. You wouldn't like it.
I would hate
I'll send it to you. This one's funny, though. This one's funny. Well, this is for my buddies that I'm sending you. It's not my actual one. I wrote it for my buddy, so it's not mine. My buddies. I'll DM it to you on Twitter.
Okay. All right. Well,
actually, you know what? I'll email it to you. Hold on, JB.
I'll take a look at it after the show once we're all cleaned up here. Real disappointed we couldn't get Jake on, but
yeah, I mean, let's see if he gives us a day this week to reschedule or something.
Yeah, he was really difficult to get scheduled the first time, and then when I think we canceled on him last week, or he canceled on us last week. So is what it is. Yeah, it's gonna be real awkward because my whole Instagram feed is post recap, post recap, post, and then now it's not gonna be
just hey, don't tell people that you bailed. Just post this.
Yeah, when we do the show, I'll post it, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna post this episode. I'm gonna
what I'm saying is post this on YouTube and say we talked to Jake in this, and people will watch the whole thing and be like, where is Jake? And they'll just hear me rambling.
Oh, here, you know what I can do? That's a good idea. I'll just put a picture of him. Where is it? Here, watch this.
Yo, they painted our name in the end zone at the Superdome. They couldn't do that in the Big Ten Championship.
What do you mean they painted our name?
They put the OSU logo on the end zone, the one that they couldn't do in the Big Ten Champ.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, that makes more sense now. I didn't understand that joke on Twitter. It's it was supposed to say Colts, and I was like.
I mean, it was supposed to say Buckeyes. They just didn't change it.
I get it now. Joke.
You're a pretty funny guy, JD, if I do say so myself.
Yep. So, watch this. We're going to make Jake appear with us in spirit. Okay. What are you got going on this week, Max? Anything exciting that you want to share with your viewers?
I mean, I'm just at my parents' house. I'm probably going to head back Wednesday and then chill at my apartment. Nothing much going on. Little New Year's Eve action. Gonna drink a little champagne. You know what I'm saying?
Popping tabs. That's good. Good. Yeah. Do you plan to do any coverage for the World Championship at all? You and John Ryan could team up and be like.
I mean, if the USA team reaches out to me again and asks me to, I will. But been a little shoved deep. You know what I'm saying? They shoved me out of here.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. This is not a.
I know.
It's not a handout. Ask for help. It's.
I mean, I offered to pay for my flight.
You want to do? Yeah.
I offered some lodging. I offered some meals. Offered free work, and my work, JD, does not come cheap. Let me tell you that. I do quality work, and nothing.
It's sad. It's just sad times,
Just sad you couldn't use your influence on the team to help a brother out, as they say.
I did what I am capable of doing, so it's tough.
No, riddle me this: if I was John Ryan, would you have tried harder?
John tried the same thing. I tried for both of you guys.
Oh, I know.
So lose. You.
If anyone should be mad, it's John because I'm not trying to be rude. I got probably 50 more world championships to go to. 100 years sounds good, and he only has less than that.
Are you calling John an elderly gentleman?
I mean, I'm just saying I have more opportunities in my life, God willing, to go to world championships than he does.
All right. You heard it, John. Max thinks you're going to only have another 5 years to live.
I mean, I think he might have 50. I'm not predetermining how long he's lived. I'm just saying I have minimum 100 years left. And I'm fully convinced of that. I am fully convinced I'm going to live to minimum 250. You can quote me on this.
All right.
250.
Put it in the books, folks. Max Littman dies in what?
Science crazy, JD. I think I might get to 500.
You're born in 99, so
98.
Okay.
Like, I think I'm going to be alive in 2500. I seriously think so. If my liver doesn't give out that, but then they'll just give me a bionic one. Like, that's the thing.
You think at that point in medical progression we'll have just fully biotic or robotic?
Genuinely, I think medical progression is going to get to the point of the ship of, the ship of Theseus problem?
No, please elaborate.
So, Theseus in the Greek myth had a ship, right? The ship got broken, so they added a new part over and over and over again. They had to replace the mast, they had to replace the oars, they had to replace the wheelie thing, And eventually someone was like, we've replaced every piece of wood in this ship. Is it still Theseus's ship, or is it a brand new ship because we've replaced everything? It's a mental logic problem. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing with my body in 2500. They've replaced everything. I've had 18 livers. I'm an alcoholic. It's in the future. Is it still me? Is my soul still there? Even if all of my body is new bionic parts? It could be. I could still, if I still have thoughts, it's still me, right? If it's still my brain, even if I get a brain replacement, it's still me if I'm thinking what I am.
Yeah, but that's where that whole debate between soul and life comes into discussion, is the brain. What part of, you can't replace the whole brain. Some piece of the brain must remain the same.
But I think we're going to be able to upload our brains. I think they'll have like a USB drive. You clip that thing in and you upload it. I'm not even kidding.
Plug and play.
I legitimately think we're going to be able to do that. It's 50 years.
So I wrote a paper about this in college, 10-page research paper. Actually wrote it coming back from Germany on pretty much no hours of sleep, and I did it in 4 hours. I wrote the whole thing in 4 hours. So it's pretty wild. But yeah, I'm a big believer in the level of technological progression is too fast for our own good. I think I personally have a concern about giving too much ability to robots and AI technology. So it's my own conspiracy theory out there, folks. But
it's a concern I'm willing to live with. Here's my other. Oh, you want a similar story, JD? Freshman year nationals, we're driving back from North Carolina. I had a 10-page paper on the evaluation of higher education related to median income in the state of Ohio. Data analysis due for a final. 10 pages, wrote it on the car ride back, mid-car ride, because it was due that day. It was an all-timer.
Well done.
Got an A-.
Just want you to know, Max, that John says, I was following handball 30 years before you. I'll be following handball 30 years after you've vanished from the scene. Ooh.
I mean, I could get banished. I think the more likely thing than me dying soon is me getting banished from handball for related alcohol transgressions.
I think John's finger to key. I'm trying to think of the technological equivalent of pen to paper, but finger to key. It's there forever. I mean, he's got you ask John a question, he can find it in a jiffy, and he has some story or blog concerning whatever topic. So it's very nice, and it's one that I highly recommend for any future employees of USC Handball.
Here's the thing, JD. John will outlast me if anyone ever starts videotaping what happens at Flanders. If someone ever videotapes all of Flanders, I'm going to prison.
What happens at Flanders stays at Flanders.
It has to stay in Flanders, or a lot of us are going to prison. Jeb's going to Supermax.
I've never. Oh man, yeah, a lot of good stuff there. A lot of stories.
The only thing I'm looking forward to in this world, this has been a miserable year. The one thing I'm looking forward to is first weekend of August, getting in the hurricane or whatever we're doing by then.
We'll take the hurricane.
Driving to New Jersey, and just getting blackout drunk for 3 days of handball.
We're getting closer each year to bring home the actual title. Like we
could have done it.
We literally could have won last year.
We had one bad loss, but we had the tie that we should have won. We should have been in the championship game, in all honesty.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And if we bring Wrecker, we bring Devin, Marcus, all of a sudden we're looking really good.
Yeah, we came in third last year, went 5-4-1-1 with 3 guys that never played before, and you playing most of the games. So
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's the only tournament I play good at.
yeah.
It's the outdoors. The outdoors are good to me.
So, but yeah. So if you're not going to be covering World Championships, we're going to need some support back here while I'm gone and away. So John's going to need everybody he can to help share information.
I'm probably going to end up. I'll probably end up doing some articles if you guys need. I mean, I'll be watching the games anyways.
I just need somebody pushing content to people because if the
I
games,
can
watch parties,
I can write
bars,
content.
Okay.
Is anyone going to? No one's going to have a watch party for this.
I'd like there to be.
JD, the games are going to be on Euro time, right?
Yeah, they'll be like if you go to lunch,
Okay.
Oh, hold up, Jake responded. Oh, yeah, he's coming on.
He's coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be good.
Dude, let's just end the Zoom now so we don't have to take a break, and let's just do 45 with him, right?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay,
right,
set up a new one and send it to me.
Yep, hold up.
Yep. I'm leaving right now.
Same one, but hold on. Right.
Okay, I'm out.
All right, folks. Let's see if Jake can get on here. Yeah, shout out to our sponsors, as always. KT Tape. Big fan of KT Tape. They help me in my time of need. Also like to thank Theramu. Ordered some Theramu for my mom for Christmas. See if it gets here in time. Also like to thank who else we got? Anchor. They're the ones that help us make this podcast happen. Trying to think what other sponsors we got.
Man, that was a good first half of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like if people can budge. I don't know what the word I'm even trying to say. Nudge. Survive through that. That'd be pretty clutch. So
you could just cut it from what goes on Spotify, to be honest.
I could.
You shouldn't though.
I mean, we look at where we started. We started on just tearing up Dwayne Haskins.
We that was a good bit. Like I'm gonna be honest, that thinking stay off the pole is pretty good. Good song.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give Jake another link. Doesn't work. So
the link never works.
How did you rejoin?
I use the same link.
All right. He said it didn't work. Oh, folks.
We gotta get Billy on this podcast. What if we got Billy?
If we had Billy on, you can work on that. I mean,
I'll try. I'll talk to him.
I asked him.
Did he say no?
Oh, there he is. There's Jake.
I don't see. Oh, yeah, admit him.
Clutch. There he is.
Jake.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Give me a hot
Good. How are
second.
you, man?
Not bad. Sorry about that. I literally just moved into a new place, so I just was in the zone there, and then I was like, "Oh."
Are you in Halifax, Peterborough? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm in Peterborough right now.
Oh man, the first question we had. You a big Pete's fan?
I was growing up a little bit. So there's about 6 or 7 high schools in Peterborough, and all the Petes go to one school, and they went to my high school. So when I got to high school, kind of stopped really cheering for them at that point. Once I was kind of around them on a daily basis, they weren't the nicest guys.
You weren't a Billet family?
No, I was not a Billet family, but there's a lot of lacrosse guys actually that I grew up playing with that were Billet families. So
I'll tell you, I'm a Spitfire super fan. Like when we're talking Spitfire's biggest fans, I'm probably top 5 in the world.
Do you like Zach Cassian?
They used to follow me on Twitter. That's why. I know nothing about the team currently.
Oh, okay, right on. Fair enough. So where are you? Are you in Columbia? Are you a Buckeye?
Both of us.
Yeah, both of us. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Right on. When did you guys graduate?
2015, and Max, you were what? 2017.
Well, 2019.
2019.
Yeah, we have like the intersect there.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what? You were a freshman. He was a senior.
I was a freshman when you were a junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then JD was graduated by the time I got to OSU, but he was the coach on the handball team.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Never graduate.
You guys born and bred Ohio guys?
Columbus
Yes, sir.
till we die.
Right on. Love it.
So thanks for coming on. Sorry about the difficulties and whatnot. So
No, that's on my end, boy. So I apologize for making you guys wait around. I just bought a house, so I've just been on a tear here trying to get everything situated. And you get on a roll sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, you're all good. We were talking about Dwayne Haskins. What do you think of him getting cut?
I was actually just reading that earlier. I have no clue what it is. I think I read something last week. It was COVID related or something, but
Yeah, it's because he could not stay off the pole, as we like to say here. Brought home 4 strippers from the club, no masks. Can't do it.
yeah, that's never a good idea, especially during these times.
If you did that in the PLL, what would happen? What do you think?
Well, first off, I don't think anyone would find out because people don't really know who we are in public. But secondly, if management did, then I'd probably get in some big trouble, especially when we were in Utah. They were very strict there.
yeah, but
Would you get like Big Cat calling you up?
What's that?
You can get more than one wife in Utah. You know, it's polygamy, right?
Yeah, true.
But Big Cat owns your team, right? Would you have like Big Cat on the phone with you, like, man, like we can't have a team?
Yeah, he'd understand. I mean, I used to be a big part of my take guy, so that's the type of stuff those guys love. They love talking. It'd be good news for them, anyways.
We are dear friends of them here. We help with some of their handball stuff. Allegedly, Billy from Pardon My Take will be playing on the team this August.
Right on. So what? Shooting straight. What's a little background on you guys in the podcast?
Yeah, for sure. So Max here, you can't see me unless you're watching on Twitch just because the way OBS works, but I'm JD. I started the podcast with a guy named Joey out of Detroit. He's a fellow lacrosse player, and he and I just wanted to start a podcast during COVID, and he was coming up with the name, and Shooting Straight just sounded like a good name, so that's what we ran with. And then some guy out of New York started making his own handball podcast called Straight Handball Talk, and we're like, dude, you couldn't come up with any other name, so we had some beef with him, and we're still on the air and he's not, so we'll see how that rolls. But our whole goal is just getting random athletes on the show, talking what their sports experience is like, and if they'd ever considered playing some handball and what that would take, and if they think they'd be any good at it, and just trying to get people talking about handball that normally wouldn't talk about handball. So Max and I both played at Ohio State, and I coach with the national team, and Max has helped me with the national team in some aspects and things like that. But it's pretty much where we're at. So we've had a bunch of PLL guys come on the show recently, and we said it earlier, one of our listeners thinks that we're a PLL fanboy podcast now, since all we do is get PLL guys on the show. But hey, I'm all about it, so I'm not going to stop that train.
Well, right on. I mean, I would say this is more just a Buckeyes fan club episode here. So yeah. we're all Buckeyes here, right? So
exactly. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself? For our viewers out there who might not be familiar with your history.
So my name's Jake Withers. I grew up in Peterborough, Ontario. It's about an hour and a half northeast of Toronto. Just right down the 401 to the 115, and you're in the best place on earth. I grew up, playing hockey, lacrosse, basically hockey in the winters, lacrosse in the summers. Got to high school. Funny you talk about handball. It was probably my favorite gym sport. Mm-hmm. And I'm a self-proclaimed gym class hero, so I used to go as hard as I could in that. And
excellent.
It's definitely one of the more enjoyable sports that I'd play in high school. But yeah, then fortunate enough to get recruited. Went to Ohio State for 4 years. Went to the national championship there. Max's first year, I think, right? Or
yeah.
No, maybe, yeah.
I think so. I watched that game, 100%.
Yeah, so we made it all the way to the top and fell a little short, but it was a good run. From there, I got drafted to the NLL, to the Rochester Nighthawks. Played there for 2 seasons, lived there for 2 seasons. Got drafted to the MLL the same summer, played in Atlanta and Boston, and then picked up the PLL this summer for my first time in the bubble. Awesome experience. And then playing Halifax now in the indoor league. Our team relocated, so we didn't fold, but we relocated to Halifax. Our owner saw, brighter horizons over there, and it was a great first season there. And then COVID's kind of thrown a wrench into all that. But I mean, I guess you guys can relate to. Everyone can kind of relate at this point. So that's about it. Yeah.
Cool. Here's a Halifax question for you. Is it like Goon? Have you seen Goon? Because every time I see Halifax, all I think about is Goon.
Yeah. I mean, they're crazy fans. It's not like, I mean, obviously the sports side, that's a little exaggerated, but like people are nuts out there. Like, lacrosse is kind of uncharted territories. And, we started, I wouldn't say slow, but, we weren't selling out crowds. And then by the end of the season, before COVID cut us off, like it was, packed house every night. You'd go to the bar after the game, and, they're rabid fan base. People love to drink out there. And it's a different kind of lifestyle, everything, people always say Canadians are very friendly and this and that, but you don't really experience that, especially being a Canadian, until you go out, to the East Coast. It's just like a whole different, ball game out there.
What would you say is like a ballpark attendance for one of your guys' games non-COVID times? Because I feel like box and handball, like as a similar kind of crowd, at least what I think handball should be shooting for in the U.S. is like whatever the numbers indoor lacrosse has.
Yeah, I mean, it's a niche sport for sure, right? Especially from the time that I've got into it, even just being a young kid going to games in Peterborough, especially where it's kind of lacrosse mecca, in my opinion. Every summer we have summer ball where we play against 4 or 5 other cities every Thursday, and we sell out. So we get about 3,000 to 3,500 fans just in Peterborough alone, right? And it's it'd be a fraction of the population even Columbus is. But NLL related, in Rochester, my first couple of years, we were getting 5,000-6,000. Where 5 years before that, they were selling out about 9,000-10,000 a game. So it all depends on the market. The last season, I think we averaged about 8,500. And that was in our inaugural season. But then you look at a place like Calgary, they get 14,000 a game, or Buffalo, they get 15,000 a game. And then you go to Georgia or New England, and they average probably 4,000 if you're lucky. So it probably, across the board, is probably about 8,000 to 9,000.
Dang.
Hey, we averaged 30, so you guys are doing something right.
Handball does?
Yeah.
Our game. So Max and I play for the Columbus Armada, as well as our sister club, the Dublin Trunks, and it's right now just at a weekend warrior level. So we're working on promoting that a little bit bigger to get some actual attendance to our games. But yeah, it's pretty pathetic for the most part.
Well, I'll tell you this: if I ever am able to cross the border again and get back down to Columbus, I'll definitely come to a game if I'm able to.
We want you playing.
Yeah,
we would take
we'll
you
get
zero
you a
experience
contract.
to get you started.
All right. You guys allow drop-ins like that?
Absolutely.
Honestly, yeah.
No.
All right, perfect. I'm in 100%.
I mean, heck, like how far is it from Halifax to New Jersey?
It's pretty far.
Halifax to New Jersey. I mean, is that like Newark?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Probably like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Like plane ride. Sorry,
Okay.
you drive that.
Yeah,
It's days. I'll see you in a few days if I'm driving that.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. I was
We'll
trying
talk to our
think.
investors and take care of a flight.
Get your private
appreciate
jet.
that.
One of the questions I had for you, you talked about going to the national championship and that whole ride. And as someone who grew up in Columbus playing lacrosse, and always keep an eye on Ohio State, Ohio State lacrosse was never a team I would consider to even make the NCAA tournament, let alone be in the national championship game. So when I remember that season came about, I was just blown away every time. You guys just kept winning and winning and winning, and then we're in the final against Maryland, who you've beaten earlier in the season. It's just oh my gosh. So what was that journey like?
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of like that storybook team, stereotypical storybook team, I guess, in a lot of spectators' eyes. But for me and for a majority of that team and our coaching staff especially, that was something that we were kind of building towards the 4 years that my class especially was there. And it wasn't really a surprise to us that we kept winning. We went into that season with championship aspirations and kind of going into uncharted waters that we've never been to. And it helped that a lot of guys, my class, we were in the Elite Eight. in 2015, and we kind of fell short. We blew a 7-goal lead against Denver. So it definitely wasn't something that was surprising to us. Obviously, when the lights came on and we just kept winning and winning, it was kind of something that you had to sometimes take a step back from and say, like, holy shit, like, we're really doing this. But so at the end of the day, it wasn't really surprising to any of us, and it was something that Coach Myers really instilled in us from day one, stepping on campus, from the seniors down to the freshmen. So everyone did their part. We had a lot of guys step up, a lot of young guys too, like Trey LeClaire, Tarafanko, Jeff Henrik, guys that are still there and still leading, and hopefully be able to kind of turn that corner and bring that title home this year. But it was a good run. It was, the best 4 months of my life. I definitely, if I could turn the clocks back, I'd do it over again.
Awesome. Max, you had some questions for Jay.
I mean, the first one, OSU lacrosse, what I think of playing in the Shoot before the spring game. What was that like?
It was surreal. I mean, the one thing that I always tell people when they ask me that question actually is, I just remember, like, one of my most vivid memories of playing in a game. You look back in your career and a lot of it's just kind of cloudy or little snippets from here and there. But I just remember, I think it was my sophomore year, getting in and taking a face off and winning it and flying up the field for an outlet pass. And at this point, there must have been 80,000 people in the crowd, and it was like, I've played in a lot of big venues even to this day. Don't mean to like humble brag or anything, but I've never experienced like noise and stuff like just the whole atmosphere. It's like such a sobering moment where I'm looking up to catch this ball that's flying through there, and everything literally just like slows down. All you can hear is the crowd chatter, and it just makes me feel like I don't understand how these guys, speaking of Dwayne Haskins or Justin Fields now, like how they can make play after play in that atmosphere. It's crazy. Those guys are cold-blooded.
That's wild. Yeah. I mean, we played in Quicken Loans once, so we know what the big atmosphere is like. It was
how many fans do you have there? You had a 0 to the end of the 30?
No.
100 maybe?
No.
We played after the Cavs game, and we were actually on ESPN because they were doing a post-game interview with LeBron, or a post-game recap about LeBron, and you could see us in the background on the court playing. And so we were all pumped. We're like, oh, we made it on ESPN. And then the next day, they played the same clip and then blurred us out, so you couldn't see what was going on. So we were like, wow,
damn,
it's holding us back.
That's cold. That's cold.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was the coolest thing that they had y'all playing at the Shoe. It must have stuck an early morning Saturday game. I don't know, like in college I was always hungover Saturday mornings, but
yeah, we had we're probably one of the only college kids on that campus that weren't on Saturday morning. So we had a real strict, Coach Myers wasn't fucking around usually. So can I swear, by the way?
Oh yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
We tried. We've already lost that ability. We try to keep it cool for the kids, but Max.
Oh no, JD tries to keep it cool. I don't give a fuck.
So yeah, he wasn't playing around. So I mean, I love playing in the Shoe. Like there's no other. When we'd have to play indoor games or, my first 2 years, you played a lot at the Jesse Owens, and it's super nice facilities, but there's just something about the Shoe, like you said, like it's there's no other place like it in the entire world. Like I said, even in a lot of the NLL barns, like it's just not even the same ballpark as playing in the Shoe.
Yeah. No, when you were in MLL, you ever played the Machine?
No, I never played the Machine, but I went to a few of their games at the, what was that? I forget what that place was called. Yeah, Obet's
the place
or whatever. I liked it. It was nice there. Like the field was nice. I liked the setup they had. They had all those storage units and stuff everywhere.
It looks like you're in like the stockyards in like GTA or something.
It'd be a good COD map, I always thought.
Yeah.
Or like a paintball. Yeah. I always thought about that. We got another OSU culture questions, right? All OSU guys. Your favorite OSU bars?
OSU bar?
Yeah. Bars, whatever you want.
Well, going back to my freshman year, Charlie Bear was an awesome bar.
Oh, Charlie
right?
Bear.
In Gateway there, whatever that place is called. It was amazing. I love that place. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I mean, young me, in there roaming around, like it was an amazing place. But my junior senior year at Midway was always kind of the go-to. Yep. Even though it smelled like I couldn't really stand it a lot of the time unless I was completely plastered, but it was always a good time, especially when they, made Ethel and Tank there and had the little block parties in the middle. But I was always a big club guy, so I like Charlie Bear a lot. In and Out was good. But yeah, Midway was kind of our go-to. Now they have Bullwinkles. I don't know if you guys have ventured there, but
Bulls is it's a different breed, I think.
It has a new reputation these days of the 16 to 18 crowd.
That's what I've been told. But like when I first went there, it was my senior year it opened, so like it was like the hottest place in town, so or at least on campus, and it was packed, like lines down to
always. It's always is. It always is.
Goddamn Chipotle, right? So it was awesome. It's got great pizza too. So I'm a big guy that I like to try out the bar food, especially when I'm on my way out.
So you're a big South Campus guy then?
What's that?
You a big South Campus guy then? Everything you got all the South Campus favorite stomping grounds, because that's where, like, me being the weird nerdy engineer guy, I'm all about Outer Inn and frickin' Twos and where else? Library and frickin' Thirsty Scholar. Those were like our go-to places where pretty much nobody would go.
Yeah, no, we're a little more mainstream, I guess you'd call it. Big Bar the odd time. What's the one they just made the new one, like across from where that brand spanking new Taco Bell was? I went down for the Michigan game
Chumley's
last year.
Already closed.
They relocated.
It already closed?
Yeah, Chumley's is done forever.
The new Chumley's?
Damn, yes. Yeah,
they couldn't survive the pandemic.
Dang.
That's sad, man. I used to love Chumley's. The new place they had there was incredible. Last year we went there. I think I was there for 4 or 5 days. We went there almost every day.
I just stopped going to bowls because like sophomore year, went there a lot freshman year. Sophomore year was in there one time with some friends, and I saw a pack of girls that I knew were 4 years behind me there. And I did like the math real quick in my head. And I was like, yeah, these women are 15. I best be making my way out of here.
Yeah, that's never good. So, I mean, and that was very rare. We were a very disciplined team, believe it or not, especially that senior year. I mean, but we're college kids. When we got opportunities, people like to have fun. So we're a big house party team, though. Usually the sophomores are the juniors. In our case, 2 years in a row, we'd have a house with 7 or 8 guys in it. So we'd have good times. We'd throw Halloween, Christmas, all that good stuff.
That's
one of our guys was on the club lacrosse team, and they threw down.
Oh yeah, I bet they did. We crossed paths with them a few times. I think some stories that I can't really say on the podcast here.
Yeah. Don't want to incriminate anybody. We had. No. I played club lax for a little bit before I started the handball team, and it was one of those things that they got kicked off campus 3 times while I was in school because of just stupid stuff like bringing a keg onto the sidelines of a game and just blatantly drinking in the middle of campus and not filling out their forms and just stupid stuff. But fun group of guys, that's for sure. One of the things that I want to touch on that note is like with you guys in the house parties, like we have the handball team try to get a house and things like that, but do you guys pass down the same house, or is it just kind of a shift, or is it like you guys, this is the lax house, like, and just keep rotating who's living in there?
Yeah, I mean, usually there's usually there's enough in this, like when freshmen move to sophomores that they usually get 2 houses. So for me, at least, we kind of went off the map and we just went and got our own house. Like we went searching. We had a pretty motivated group of guys, I guess. A group of guys that like to have a good time, so we figured that the current house that our sophomores had wasn't the best, so we wanted to go get our own. So we went and we found the only house on Summit with a nice big backyard. So we crammed 8 of us in there. One of my buddies actually transferred from Bellarmine last second, so I just share a room with him for a year, and it was probably the best year of my life, to be completely honest. But
nice. Yeah,
usually there's at least a house that gets passed down at least 2 to 3 years. So I think there's a house still on Summit that some of the sophomores got when I was a senior. And there's still guys that are living in that as far as I know. So.
All right. We'll try to hit them up. A little handball lax partnership maybe. So.
Hey, we almost
had for sure.
Here's a question for you. You guys ever play handball in practice? It's a little different, obviously, but the wrestling team, we got sent a video of the wrestling team playing handball in practice, but we hit them up on Twitter. And we had arranged a full game with them that was potentially going to be at the Shot, like an exhibition handball match between the handball team and the wrestling team. but the NCAA shut us down over compliance stuff.
No way. No, we never. The furthest we go, off the grid from lacrosse would be, on our free time. We had a week, or we came back from holidays or something. We had a few days to kill. We'd play basketball or pool basketball, but no, never handball. I wish, man. Like I said, that was probably my favorite sport to play in high school.
We played handball with lax nets before. It's way smaller, but you can do it.
Yeah, the handball nets, like whenever it's on ESPN, I'll sit down and watch hours of that stuff. It's entertaining, but the nets are so big. Like,
dude, it's huge. It's so easy to score. So easy.
Yeah, the poor goalies.
Yeah.
JD was a former national team goalie. You can ask him all about that.
It's rough. It's rough.
I bet
30% is good.
Really, eh?
Yeah, it's not good. One of the questions on that note. So when you played in high school, you probably don't know this, but Alberta, obviously not Ontario, but Alberta is a huge handball population for all of Canada. Like, they pretty much run handball in Alberta. But I didn't know if there's you had any exposure to a larger presence of handball in Ontario.
No, nothing. That blows my mind that of all the provinces, Alberta is the handball mecca of Canada.
It is.
It's huge there.
Honestly, I would have thought it was Quebec or even British Columbia. They always have kind of the weird niche sports like that. So not weird in a bad way, but you know what I'm saying.
It would make sense if it was Quebec, because the French love handball. Like, PSG's really good. They were in the Final Four today.
Yeah, Paris Saint-Germain?
Yeah. They have the best player in the world.
Who's that?
Nikola Karabatic.
What is he? Is it like soccer, like position-wise, or are guys just running everywhere, playing everything?
It's more like lacrosse. It's literally I guess position-wise, I'd relate more to basketball, but spacing, I'd put it as lacrosse, except you don't have X. You got a crease guy, and you just kind of spread it out accordingly. So, if you think about it, you got your three middies up top. That's your backcourt, and then the three guys down below would be, your attack mid, but wings, and then the guy on the crease is your pivot. So that's pretty much, and you run the same kind of plays you'd run in lacrosse. It's same kind of defensive tactics, so it's very similar. A lot of crossovers.
Nice. So in the World Championships, do they hold one every year? Like, when you played on the team, did you travel somewhere and internationally and play?
So that is a good question.
Yeah. So I was on the junior team back in the day, and we went to Germany, Guatemala, and Sweden in a 3-month time frame. So all while I was at Ohio State, I basically skipped finals and went on a international campaign. But right now, the men's senior team, they travel probably 3 times a year internationally.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And then you didn't mention the coolest part.
What's that?
The World Championships are next month. JD's going down to coach the team in Egypt, in Cairo.
Yep.
So it's still going on with COVID? You get a P1 visa or whatever they call that?
Yep. So we're getting at professional athlete status for all our traveling. So we got a week in Denmark for training camp, and then we'll go to Egypt for 3 weeks. And we'll be in a bubble on all fronts. So when we go, we got to get COVID tested every 3 days. No interaction. I don't think we're going to get to see anything in Egypt. I think we're legit going from the hotel to the gym and back every day, and that's it. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably see some cool stuff just in that little short travel time. You got to see a pyramid. I don't know.
We're 3 miles from the pyramids. We're in Giza for our game, so
you're gonna see them.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Those things are pretty tall.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweet.
So is there a pro league then, like PSG? They're a pro team, their soccer team?
Yep. So Europe is fully professionalized. Guys are making hundreds of thousands of euros a year. Some of them with if you include all their sponsorship deals, are $1 million plus. So it's a pretty good gig, and we're working on a pro league here in the States, which is where all these PLL guys have come in. They want to know how they can get in, and we're trying to put together a partnership to have the PLL guys play handball in the off season to keep them in shape and just keep their mind flowing from an athletic standpoint. So because not all of them play box like you. So
if you need a Canadian lifeline, though, give me a call. I know a few people with some deep pockets, so I can see if they could get something going up here.
We want a team in Toronto, so I'll definitely hit you up when we get to that point.
And thinking more Mississauga on that one, JD.
Okay.
Big Mississauga guys.
All right. Why not Peterborough? You know?
Oh, not much handball going on around here. We'll be playing in my high school gym, maybe.
Hey, that's nothing wrong with that. There's no handball going on anywhere. So
we played in plenty of high school gyms here.
Yeah.
That is our forte.
Fair enough.
So John Ryan has a couple comments in the chat. He said he doesn't see a massive lacrosse pipeline to handball, but he could see the PLL winning at Flanders. So if we put this PLL team together, it probably could win the Flanders tournament. I do not disagree with that, John. And he also said there might be more youth handball in Alberta, but Quebec is also strong. Quebec still has a greater share of national team roster spots, although the gap is closing. Huge, long-standing Quebec-Alberta rivalry. So,
who would have thought? Quebec, Alberta, really throwing it out there.
We also got a viewer from Portugal right now. Like, dude, it's like 4 a.m. there, so shout out to you, man. But yeah, Jake. So one of the things that what other questions you got about handball? Because I feel like you're kind of into it, and I feel like we could get you playing if we get some games up there in Halifax.
I mean, what position do you think I'd be suitable for?
How tall are you?
5'11", 200.
Yeah, 5'11", 200, 195.
Lefty or righty?
I write with my left hand, but I'm a righty for lacrosse.
Is that your dominant throwing arm? Would you say that?
My dominant throwing arm is my left hand. Yeah.
Dang.
Oh, yeah. You're going at right back.
Right wing. He's 5'11".
Wing. Yeah, 5'11". How fast are you?
I mean, I would say I'm decently fast. I'm not like
wing.
Usain Bolt, but
yeah,
dominant wing at 200 too. Like I'm assuming you can like hit guys pretty
I think
well.
you can hold your
You're a face-off guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to. Yeah, I'd say I'm a pretty rugged guy. I'll run, head first into a guy as fast as I can if I need to.
All right, signed up for right wing. So, fun fact about that position, Jake, is that there's pretty much nobody that plays it. So you got a pretty good shot to play on any team you want.
That's my position. There's so few lefties because there's so few guys that play handball. Of that, there's so few lefties that like if you're decently athletic, which I'm not, but I still like can play somewhat. But if you're decently athletic, obviously you're way more than decently athletic. National team.
Perfect. How is the Canadian national team? Are we any good?
No.
Well, you're a step behind the American national team, and the American national team is pretty bad. So yeah.
It's surprising. I would have thought, like, usually it doesn't matter what the sport is. America's usually hanging around the top of the leaderboards.
The best in North America is Greenland right now.
Wow.
They're pretty good.
Hot take of the century.
Who's the best in the world then? France?
It's right now it's like a debate between Denmark, France, Norway, Spain. I would put Spain in there as well.
Yeah.
So
and then the Slavic countries like Croatia's pretty good, Macedonia,
Slovenia,
those type of places. Yeah.
So a lot of stuff going on that front.
Yeah, you guys have opened my eyes right up to the world of handball. So
Dude, people don't realize it's the second most played sport in Europe just by like numbers. Every city has a team. Like we did our own Euro trip in OSU. We went to Germany, went to this small Danish town. They had a team in the second division of Danish handball, and they were packing their place. Like it's pretty big over there.
Did you guys play like you go scrimmage these teams? Is that what you guys call them, a scrimmage?
Yeah, we scrimmaged
team, yeah.
The OSU team scrimmaged a Danish U15 team, and we lost by 50. I scored a goal that game. It was pretty good.
41-14. It was not pretty.
And like one throw of the ball in the net is a point?
One for one.
Oh, my.
That's
bad. Tough.
These kids, so Jake, these kids their coach told them that they were playing the American, like, all-star team. So these kids think that, like, freaking NBA guys are coming and all these superstars. So they see us in the gym, and we're just, like, basically like a bunch of rec Ohio State athletes. And they're like, this is who we're playing today. And they were all, like, every single one of them was 6'4", probably like, I don't know, 210, just lean, 15-year-old Danish kids. And it wasn't even close, like not even close.
You guys are probably
they came in like holding a boombox. They just like ran around it. Second I saw them warming up, I was just like, boys, it's over. Nothing we can do.
They did sprints at halftime. Like it probably did 40 sprints at halftime. So it's not good.
Like some dodgeball shit.
Yeah,
the Euro team they brought over.
Literally.
You ever like lacrosse games as a kid or like growing up you go to and you just know you're gonna lose and you just see the other guys and you're like, well, this sucks.
Plenty. Oh yeah, for 100%. It's very demoralizing.
You have that in the pros too. Are there any games where you're just like, well, there's just no chance, boys?
No, I mean the PLL was my first year, but NLL too, and even summer ball where like, you know, a lot of like there's us and this team called the Six Nations Chiefs, and we're usually the two powerhouses. So I'm usually on the right side of the fence on those ones. So
yeah, obviously
every game, every game's pretty even, pretty up in the air. And in summer ball, like I said, like we're usually the team that when we roll in, you know, most of the other teams like, oh shit, like here we go.
The PLL has great parity, and that's like I love watching it because the parity is there, and like anyone can win any game.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the Whip Snakes are. If I was gonna say that I had that feeling against any team, we didn't play them. Thank God, but I mean, not even thank God. We didn't have the opportunity to play them this summer, but they're definitely a team. Even just watching them, it's like holy shit! Like they can ball.
Yeah. One thing that John Ryan would bring up is that if you take out all of the U.S.'s dual citizens, Canada is a much better handball team. So just a fun fact there.
The way the U.S. gets guys is we find guys in the 4th German division that like their dad or like mom was a U.S. like military person in Germany, and they're playing in the 4th or 5th German division, and we get them to play for the U.S. because they would never ever get on a German national team, but they can start for the U.S.
So there's like farm teams and stuff over in these European leagues. Like
Germany has 8 or 9 divisions, and it's promotion relegation too.
That's crazy. So it's obviously the second most played in Europe behind soccer.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
One question I had for you about the Waterdogs, like, do you have any interaction at all with the Pardon My Take guys at all? Because
nothing.
Okay.
I mean, some of the guys do, like some of the more well-known guys in our team, like you know, Connor Kelly, Drenner, Drew Snyder, like they have some, you know, little bit of communication, I think, just over social media or this or that, but nothing. Like they I think they're paid by the league. I don't know if they don't quote me on that, but obviously to help promote, especially, you know, the expansion team, it's a genius move by the execs there. But you know, no, as far as I know, nobody really has any communication with them personally.
Yeah.
Did you ever follow Big Ev while you were at Ohio State?
Yeah, he was like the Barstool sports guy, or Ohio OSU Barstool guy. Yeah,
he's my frat brother. We he's a guy. He's a guy's guy.
Yeah, good for him. He's made it big. So
it's genuinely the most surprising thing that has ever happened to that man is him making it. Like, he would film the Barstool OSU videos in our basement, and we'd like laugh at him because they all suck. And now he's like living in New York doing all this.
It's a niche thing, man. Once it catches on and once you start getting views, like they'll, especially Barstool, like they do it right. Like they'll push you till you're something at least, right? So
and that's gonna be handball in America. In 5 years, you're gonna be like, I was on this random handball podcast, and now they're millionaires.
Well, I hope so. And you guys got to make sure you remember me, and I want to be a recurring guest at least.
For sure. Yeah, we only
or
bring
you guys go do a Euro trip. I want to jump on that PJ with you guys and
you can come for that. Absolutely.
Oh, that's not an issue.
Yeah, that's no worries there. Yeah,
we're planning our next one's somewhere cool.
Norway.
It might be like Spain or Norway. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I've been to Barcelona once. Yeah, I love it's probably my favorite place on the entire planet. Like, talk about a party, city that never sleeps.
Got to go to Mallorca. That's where the party's at. That's the whole party
I've heard. Or Ibiza.
Yeah, Ibiza, exactly. I only brought up the Pardon My Take guys just because they pretty much ticked off the entire handball world back in February. So we try to keep them relevant with us. So you guys,
what would they do?
They came up with the Jay Cutler handball team, and some like that they like got like a bunch of old athletes that they said would beat the U.S. national team. And some in the handball community were not very receptive.
It got to the point where the national team coach literally said he'd pay for the game to happen, and then COVID hit, so it never actually take place. So like they had the whole team listed. We were ready to go, like contract, and everybody was ready to duke it out, and couldn't make it happen.
It's a sensitive community, eh?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh, here I got the lineup ready if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
We got Jay Cutler captain, Blake Griffin, Blake Kepka, Danny Woodhead, Blake Bortles, Sam Decker, Phil Hughes, Billy Football on the bench, Big Cat PFT, and the coach is Gary Busey.
Okay, so there are a lot of good athletes on there. Be fully honest with me here. Do you think that they would put up a good, or do you think they would beat the U.S. handball team?
They'd lose by 30.
So the whole bet was that they couldn't score 10. So the national team coach bet them that they couldn't score 10, and I think that they could score 10. I think if you put Blake Griffin out there and Blake Bortles, like those two alone could probably get you a couple goals. I'm pretty confident. The rest of the guys, Billy Football as well, I think could handle himself, but the rest of those guys, I wouldn't care for. I mean, there's been times like NFL Without Borders, they went to Hungary and they played a Hungarian handball team in handball, and freaking what's his face, Gary Barnage, Alex Mack, Austin Hooper, Todd Gurley, they got whooped. It was embarrassing. Like they did not look like athletes at all. So it was one of those things that it was pretty sad to watch.
Like when The Bachelor played handball.
That was just disrespectful.
I hate to say it though, but just like, you know, that Jake Paul in the boxing world, if that ever happened, I'd definitely pay to watch it.
Yeah, that's where we're at with handballs. We need that to happen. So
I would take Jake Paul on the handball team. I don't like the guy,
he's
but
short. He's shorter than you, Jake. Isn't he like it's a debated 5'8", I think.
Yeah, I don't think he's a very tall human. He's pretty thick though. I'll give him that. Him and I think his brother's a little taller, but
you think he's beating Floyd?
Not a chance.
Oh, not yet. No. Oh, we only got a minute left, JD. We got to wrap this up.
Yeah. So, Jake, we'll be real quick here. Hot session. If you were to play handball, our previous guests, we had Mark McNeil and Greg Gurenlian. I always say that wrong. It's just a weird name. Which handball team you playing for?
The Canadian national team.
Oh.
No. Oh, you're just going with a whole separate one. We were going to have a PLL versus PLL handball matchup. So you're going.
Oh. So what, like, you mean the Waterdogs, obviously, or is there?
No. Like, Mark McNeil's making his own handball team, and Greg's making his own team.
I would go Greg. I'd have to go Greg.
There we go.
He's my boss for the Face-Off Academy.
He's great. We love the Face-Off Academy. Exactly. Hey, thanks so much, Jake. This was a great episode. Really appreciate your time.
We still got 30 seconds here. Favorite lax moment all time, quick.
Winning the World Championships in Langley, BC last summer.
There we go. Beautiful. All right, Jake. Thanks for making it on the show. We're glad we hung out there for you, and we'll hopefully hear from you in the future about some handball opportunities, or if you come to Columbus. Oh, and just like that. Dang. Nick of time, folks. Just in the nick of time. Mark or John, I didn't get a chance to correct Max. It's one of those things that